Chart rulership is a concept wherein we understand the importance of one particular planet, typically. There can be two. And this importance is gifted by the Ascendant. Each of the zodiac signs has a rulership, and this determines the resonance between the sign itself, such as Aries, and the planet that resonates most closely with that sign. So in the case of Aries, this is Mars. In the case of Taurus, this is Venus. So each of the 12 zodiac signs has its rulership. The rulerships were established before outer planets were discovered. And as the outer planets were discovered, first with Uranus, then with Neptune, then Pluto, perhaps Chiron nowadays, these are also assigned to zodiac equivalencies. So, for example, it is seen that Pluto has quite a lot of a resonance of Scorpio, as Uranus has with Aquarius, and Neptune with Pisces. So in some cases we've got dual rulerships of the signs. And it's worth pointing out that we mustn't forget the old planets when we look at these dual rulerships. Certainly Scorpio is a lot more like Pluto than any other sign is like Pluto. But Mars is also a factor here. Scorpio is quite Mars-like. Surprisingly so for a water sign, you might think sometimes. It's kind of quite aggressive and jabbing, which you wouldn't think of for the other two water signs, would you? But Mars is what explains that. And in the case of Neptune with Pisces, Pisces is not only Neptunian, it is also quite Jupiterian. That's the other co-ruler of Pisces. It just expands and includes, and it's got this sense of integration of everything. It's quite a Jupiter-like energy, Pisces. And we mustn't forget the Aquarius. They are wacky sometimes. Their inventiveness sometimes is thoroughly unrealistic. But sometimes they're not. They actually get it done. And this getting it done energy of Saturn is the dual rulership with Aquarius. So it's good to look at these other factors when you're considering the rulerships of the signs. Now, whichever sign is on the ascendant, its ruling planet is called the chart ruler. So if you have an Aries ascendant, your chart ruler is Mars. A Taurus ascendant, your chart ruler is Venus. It's quite simple. And this suggests that that planet is primary. Of all the things going on in your chart, all the placements of the planets in signs and the aspects and all sorts of other things, what you look at first is what the ruling planet is doing. So you look at the ruling planet, what house it's in, what sign it's in, what aspects it makes. Even to some extent, we could say equal to, or even some people would say more important than the sun and the moon. I'm not sure. It depends what you're looking for. If you want to know how somebody's interacting with the world at large, then the ascendant is obviously the factor that you're going to look for. And in that case, the ruling planet of the ascendant becomes the chart ruler, because that's what you're looking for. But if you're actually looking for something else, not so much the interaction with the outer world through the ascendant, but who I am, come what may, whether I'm alone or in company or working on my business or in relationship or looking after the kids, deeper than all of those expressions of self, what is the self? Well, that's not the ascendant, that's the sun. And the moon would also take you away from the public involvement. So it depends the question you're asking. It always will. The chart does not speak to you. It answers your questions, and it does so according to your own intuition. Apart from the chart ruler having special importance, we could also say that any angular planet does. And the angular planets are those which are close enough to the ascendant, descendant, midheaven and IC. Let's say within 5 degrees, although that's up to you. Those planets are also emphasized. So if, for example, your ruling planet was Mars, but it was in the 12th house in Cancer, it's not strengthened by those two factors, and you had an angular Uranus, then you would find that your Uranus would dominate your chart more than your ruling planet. I guess. It depends what question you're asking. So anyway, simply put, your chart ruler is the ruling planet of the ascendant sign.